Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to our channel, Soap Squad. Today is Thursday, a beautiful day to unpack some absolute madness. We are so thrilled to have you here with us as we navigate the woeful day, unpredictable waters of daytime television. Grab your strongest cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive headfirst into the latest chaos that Genoa City has to offer. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Because I am sitting here at 3 a.m., my eyes are practically bleeding from screen glare, and I have officially reached the absolute end of my tether. I just hit record, because if I don't get this out of my system right this exact second, I am going to spontaneously combust. Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. Look, I have been riding this Genoa City roller coaster for over a decade. I have survived the doppelgangers, the fake deaths, the miraculous resurrections, and the endless corporate takeovers that make zero financial sense. But this is a bridge too far. My raw, unscripted psychological fallout is currently hijacking the frame before I can even begin to deconstruct the absolute chaos that triggered it. Basically, I am a hollowed-out shell of a fan, vibrating at a frequency that dogs can hear, just trying to comprehend the sheer, unadulterated audacity of what we just witnessed. Wait, why are we like this? Why do we let these writers do this to us? Honestly, I don't know, but I am low-key obsessed with the pain at this point. Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? Seriously, I need someone to explain the physics of this narrative betrayal to me because my brain is completely short-circuiting. Listen, we all knew something was brewing. We all felt that jittery digital native pulse thrumming underneath the recent episodes, but nobody, and I mean nobody, could have predicted the nuclear bomb they just dropped on our heads. Basically, Sharon just found out that the mastermind behind all of Matt Clark's schemes is Phyllis. Phyllis Summers. I repeat, Phyllis is the puppet master behind Matt Clark. Suddenly, the entire history of this show has been flipped on its head, spun around, and thrown into a wood chipper. I am screaming. I am literally pacing my living room floor, knocking over empty energy drink cans, trying to process the magnitude of this retcon. It is a total game changer, and honestly, it is the most unhinged thing I have ever seen on television. Look, we need to talk about Matt Clark for a second to really understand the gravity of this situation. Matt Clark isn't just some run-of-the-mill corporate espionage villain who steals a USB drive and smirks in the Newman boardroom. Matt Clark is the boogeyman. He is the darkest, most traumatic chapter of Sharon's entire existence. He is the phantom that has haunted her steps, the architect of her deepest psychological scars. And now suddenly we are being told that every single move he made, every single torment he inflicted upon our sweet, long-suffering Sharon was actually orchestrated by Phyllis. Honestly, my mind cannot compute this. Basically, the writers are asking us to believe that Phyllis's hatred for Sharon runs so deep, so incomprehensibly dark, that she would fund, direct, and manipulate a monster like Matt just to ruin Sharon's life. This is terminal velocity hype, and I am not okay. Honestly, part of me is like, wow, what a major flex. Like the sheer dedication it takes to be a hater of this magnitude, you almost have to respect the hustle. Phyllis really sat there, sipping her martini at the athletic club, playing 4D chess with people's actual lives. It's a low-key obsession for her. Wait, no, what am I saying? I am contradicting myself because I am so sleep-deprived and overflowing with emotion. I do not respect the hustle. This is completely sick. Phyllis is a monster, but also kind of an evil genius. Basically, I am torn between being utterly disgusted and wildly entertained, which is exactly the chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype and absolute narrative betrayal that the writers wanted to trap us in. They murdered the fourth wall, reached through the screen, and completely scrambled my moral compass. And think about the logistics. How did Phyllis even communicate with Matt? Were they using burner phones in 1996? Did she have a secret AOL instant messenger account just to send him evil to-do lists? Hey Matt, ASL? Also, please go terrorize my rival today, THX. It just makes me think about the coffee house, Crimson Lights, and how much time they all spent just glaring at each other over oversized mugs of lukewarm decaf. Remember Nick's hair back then, that floppy middle part curtain situation, and Cassie, oh my God, sweet Cassie, running around while all these adults were basically participating in a covert psychological warfare operation. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension, bringing the signal back. Let's stick to the script. The point is, the timeline is buckling under the weight of this revelation. Let's talk about the exact moment Sharon figured it out. Listen, the cinematography in that scene was a raw frame that packed a lethal crunch. High-octane jump cuts between Sharon holding that dusty, incriminating file and flashbacks of Matt's smug, terrifying face. Suddenly, the camera pushes in on Sharon. Her eyes widen. The breathless gasp. The way the background noise just drops out completely, leaving us with nothing but the deafening sound of a decade-long mystery shattering into a million pieces. Basically, Sharon connects the dots, the offshore bank accounts, the mysterious shell company named Red Vengeance, LLC. Honestly, Phyllis, could you be any more dramatic? The timeline of Matt's resurrections perfectly aligning with Phyllis's unexplained absences. It was a masterpiece of suspense. And Sharon's reaction? I am in shambles. She didn't just cry. She didn't just collapse into a puddle of victimhood. No, she went completely still. It was that terrifying, absolute zero calmness that only comes when a person has been pushed so far past their breaking point that they loop right back around to lethal clarity. Honestly, seeing Sharon realize that her entire life's trauma was basically a side quest in Phyllis's twisted game of Monopoly was harrowing. You could see the exact second her soul left her body and was replaced by pure, unadulterated vengeance. Look, Sharon has been carrying this entire journey on her shoulders for years, playing the saint, playing the victim, playing the survivor. But this is going to unleash a dark Sharon that Genoa City is not prepared for. Meanwhile, what is Phyllis doing? She is single-handedly testing my sanity. Basically, she is probably sitting in a penthouse somewhere, wearing a silk robe, completely unaware that the sword of Damocles is about to drop directly onto her perfectly highlighted hair. Honestly, how does she sleep at night? Wait, why are we like this? Why do we constantly excuse Phyllis's behavior just because she has good one-liners and great cheekbones? I am calling her out right now. This isn't just a classic Phyllis scheme. This isn't hacking a computer or faking a paternity test. This is next-level villainy. She weaponized a predator. Honestly, there is no coming back from this. The Phyllis Summers apologists are going to have to work overtime to spin this one because basically she just cemented herself as the ultimate big bad of the century. And don't even get me started on Nick Newman. Listen, Nick is going to be so confused. He is going to walk into the room, see Sharon holding a metaphorical bloody axe and Phyllis backed into a corner, and he's going to be like, hey ladies, what's going on? Want to grab a coffee? I literally cannot. Nick has been ping-ponging between these two women for basically his entire adult life, completely oblivious to the fact that one of them was literally orchestrating a horror movie against the other. Suddenly, Nick's entire romantic history looks like a massive joke. How is he going to react when he finds out that the mother of his child, the woman he has defended countless times, was the shadow broker behind Matt Clark? He is going to need so much therapy. Honestly, they all need therapy. I need therapy just for watching this. Look, the implications of this are staggering. It rewrites everything. Every single interaction Sharon and Phyllis have had for the last 20 years is now tainted by this truth. When Phyllis smiled at Sharon at a gala, she was thinking about Matt. When they argued over a business deal, Phyllis knew she held the ultimate trump card. It's a total game changer that makes rewatching old episodes a completely different, horrifying experience. Basically, the writers have executed a retcon so massive that it threatens the structural integrity of the entire soap opera space-time continuum. I am spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop just trying to map out the logic behind the grind. Did Victor know? If Victor Newman knew about this and didn't say anything, I am going to march down to the CBS studios myself and demand answers. Wait, what if Victor actually helped her? No, no, no. Victor hates Phyllis, or does he? Honestly, my brain is mush. I am so sleep deprived that I am starting to see conspiracy theories everywhere. Maybe Matt Clark was actually a clone? Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension again. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. The focus is Sharon and Phyllis. This is the ultimate showdown. The writers have basically backed themselves into a corner where one of these legacy characters has to be destroyed. You cannot have a revelation this massive and just go back to arguing about Jabbo Cosmetics the next week. This demands blood. Let's dive deeper into the actual mechanics of this discovery, because honestly, the evidence Sharon found was a masterclass in breadcrumb plotting. We are talking about a hidden safe behind a fake wall in an abandoned storage locker, classic soap opera tropes, but elevated to absolute terminal velocity. Sharon didn't just find a piece of paper. She found a literal archive of her own torment. There were bank statements from the Cayman Islands showing massive wire transfers from a shell corporation directly to Matt's aliases. There were handwritten notes. Yes, handwritten. Because Phyllis is basically a psychopath who loves keeping souvenirs of her crimes, detailing Sharon's daily routines in the 90s. And the pièce de résistance, a microcassette tape. Listen, when Sharon pressed play on that dusty little recorder, and we heard Phyllis's unmistakable, gravelly voice saying, "Make sure she never smiles again," Matt, I literally stopped breathing. My soul left my body. It was a raw frame that packed a lethal crunch, delivering a gut punch so profound that I am still physically recovering from it. And what does this say about Phyllis's psychology? Honestly, it is a terrifying deep dive into the mind of a woman who was so consumed by insecurity and jealousy that she became the very monster she always claimed to be fighting against. Basically, Phyllis has always positioned herself as the scrappy underdog, the misunderstood rebel fighting against the pearl-clutching elites of Genoa City. But this revelation completely obliterates that narrative. She isn't an underdog, she is a shadow broker of human misery. She weaponized a predator against a young woman just because she wanted the man that woman was with. It is a total game changer for her character arc. Wait, why are we like this? Why do I suddenly feel a tiny, microscopic shred of pity for Phyllis? Because she must be so fundamentally broken inside to dedicate decades of her life to this level of hatred. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension again. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. Pity is out the window. Phyllis deserves whatever wrath Sharon is about to unleash upon her. So, what is Sharon's next move? Look, if I am Sharon, I am not going to the police. The GCPD is basically useless anyway. Paul Williams isn't walking through that door to save the day. No, Sharon has to handle this in-house. She needs to orchestrate a takedown so spectacular, so publicly devastating, that Phyllis will wish she had never set foot in Wisconsin. I want to see Sharon leverage her psychology degree to systematically dismantle Phyllis's life piece by piece. I want high-octane jump cuts of Sharon smiling sweetly at Crimson Lights while secretly buying out all of Phyllis's assets. I want a long con revenge plot that makes the Count of Monte Cristo look like child's play. Honestly, Sharon has the motive, she finally has the clarity, and she has the absolute moral high ground to do whatever it takes. The era of sweet, forgiving Sharon is dead and buried, and from its ashes rises a restless, vengeance-fueled queen, and I am low-key obsessed with this new era. I need the digital hive mind to witness my existential collapse right now, because I know I am not alone in this. The message boards must be literally on fire. Twitter is probably a smoking crater. We are all trauma bonding over this shared narrative betrayal. Honestly, it's like we've been handed a puzzle where all the pieces fit together, but the picture it makes is so horrifying that we wish we had never solved it. Basically, we are a fandom united in our absolute sheer terror of what comes next. Will Sharon kill Phyllis? Will Phyllis gaslight her way out of it? Look, Sharon, I only hired Matt to build your character. It was a growth opportunity. I can literally hear her saying it. Suddenly, everything is clear. This is the zenith of daytime television. It is messy, it is unhinged, It is deeply problematic, and I am low-key obsessed with every single second of it. I am dumping my unedited psychic damage onto this platform because I need the only circle that speaks this language to understand the gravity of this moment. We are witnessing history, people. A dark, twisted, deeply messed up history. So basically, buckle up, because if Sharon Newman is finally taking off the gloves, Genoa City is about to become a war zone. And honestly, I am entirely here for it. Might delete this later when the caffeine crash hits, but for now, I am riding this wave of absolute hysteria all the way to the shore.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.